made is just a variegated yarn. It's some that I'd already got in, so I've used it, and I will finish this off into a baby blanket at some point, but we'll carry on with our rows of part 5. So as always, I'm using a 5mm hook. The yarn is double knitting. The first row of part 5 is a V-stitch. It's a little bit of a different V-stitch to the one that we've used before, where we're going to actually work V's into the corner stitches. I'm going to use a pale mint yarn. It doesn't necessarily have to be a green yarn like the previous V-stitch rows that we've done. So we're going to slip knot onto the hook and then into the corner space here I'm going to work a V-stitch. So a standing double to start, followed by chain 1, and then we've got another double that forms the first V. We're going to work a chain 1 that will sit between the V's and work another V-stitch. So a double, a chain and a double. We're going to skip 2 stitches, so one of them is hidden, that's the second one, into this next stitch, which is the third stitch. It's the first front post double that we did from the last round. We're going to work a V into that stitch. Just carry on all the way along, skipping 2 stitches and a V-stitch into the next stitch here. That leaves us with 2 of the front post doubles from the last round. I'll just enlarge that a little bit. We've got the 2 stitches here. We're going to skip both of those stitches. We're going to skip this first cluster, and I'm going to work a V-stitch into the center of the 2 clusters here. So we've got a double, a chain and a double. You might have found that your work's curled in a little bit at the end of part 4, but it will flatten out nicely when we get to the end of part 5. The next stitch, we're going to skip the cluster, we're going to skip the first front post double here, and we're going to do a V in between the 2 front post doubles. And then skip straight across to the center of the 2 clusters and work a V-stitch, and then straight across into the middle of the 2 front post doubles with a V-stitch, and then just carry on exactly the same all the way along this row. Working the V-stitches. So you want to carry on with this row, working a V in between the 2 doubles, a V in between the 2 clusters, and I'll see you when we get to the end of the row and I'll show you how we work the corner.